Hey, everybody. So lately I've been talking about, the Lion's Gate. When the gate actually opened, was it 8/8 on my time? Was it 8/8 in another country's time? Was it starting to open in July? Or does it close later in August? What exactly is this accordion of energy in this window of opportunity? And what is it that I'm supposed to be absorbing, understanding, or dismissing, right? Well, how I understand it, it's from ancient times when early folk realized that the planet Sirius was aligning with the sun at this time every year, and they believed that more energy ricocheted off of all of that coming to our planet. Okay, that may be true. It just depends on who's really looking at it from what angle and what it's really doing. And also remember your mindset, what you believe, what you thinketh, you are. So if you don't understand it, then you may not be understanding any of the energetics. So you may not have the bonus energy of being in compatibility with it, with your belief system, and therefore you're not as amplified or activated through this window. Whatever it may be, there's more and more and more people jumping on the Lion's Gate bandwidth. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that I understand or don't understand about it? And how does it honestly affect me? So you know how I talk about the God protective services, your own GPS system. And GPS means global positioning system, right? Well, you can't understand the global positioning system until you understand the IPS, individual positioning system. The you, the me, myself, and I, of where I am on my patch of turf, what work, what plants, what seeds I'm doing, how I'm being, the mechanics and the commandership of this space. Till I can understand this, the global is not quite as relevant because I really don't know my positioning in the global until I understand it in the individual. You following me here? So let's talk about a thermometer. A thermometer does what? It tells you a temperature. It's designed to tell you a temperature, hot, cold, or anything in between. So you have the temperature, right? Temperature of your physicality. You always want to maintain that because it maintains pH balance within the blood and all of its tissues for the organs to survive and thrive. So then what is a barometer? So a barometer is an atmospheric pressure device. It maintains and lets you know what the barometric pressure actually is. And it's used to what? Forecast. Forward cast. So it brings information back, and it's used in the weather for pressures of altitudes, etc., etc., etc. But you can hone it in and use it for atmospheric pressure of attitude. Your attitude before you figure out the altitude of the global energetic positioning of where you are in the universe. So before you can understand what's going on all up and out in here, you got to step back and get into your human mechanical device and understand it and work from that place of stabilization. These have been messages coming through more and more and more and more and more. And although I know a lot of this stuff and I live it and breathe it for decades, it's natural for me. When I started this YouTube channel years ago, because I was prompted and pushed by Spirit to get on there, get on here, they would have a lot of messages that would come through, right? But in the last 6 months or so, since some more things have been occurring within me, learning how to operate my individual positioning system, more and more is coming. And then they're like, what? You got to vocalize, Sandy. You got to get this out of there and get it out to the people so that they're understanding that all of this atmospheric social media mass information on inner and outer global magnitude, you got to come back in to your individual positioning system, adjust your attitude, your self barometer, and your self thermometer. Because how you set your intention and your attention and the temperature of you and the attitude of you and the individual positioning of you, the altitude, the temperature of others, the positioning of others is going to be irrelevant, because you're never going to know where you fit in, where your peg, your humanness, where you fit in, or where you're supposed to step over and create your own space. So you're guided by old programmings to fit in over here, to follow this, that all your information comes from everything outside of you. But if you step back to your patch of grass and you work on cultivating and nurturing that space and place that is below your feet, energetically below, up and through the body, and energetically above, you learn to operate all of that, hone in and skill it, connect with that breath, step away from the they're giving me a word and I don't want to use it. It's like the spears of energy. You're just getting speared, and there's so many energetic holes occurring that everyone's energy is leaking out, is what I'm being shown right now. And I guess it does apply, and I don't argue with them, but sometimes my human wants to just, I'm not so sure what but they never steer me wrong, so I always listen to it. So hopefully it made a little bit of sense to you all. But every time you toddle, every time you take in information, it's like spearing. And now, is it poking a hole, and are you seeping energetics? Or is it planting seeds that create more, wanting to understand and feel and know more? And then are you doing it from a place of your own footings and foundation? Or are you living on someone else's footings and foundation and assuming that it's solid? You know, let everybody else worry about those footings and foundations. Be the inspector of your own patch of grass, your own footings, foundations. Step back, take a look. Are there any cracks? Are there any spear holes? What's the temperature of self? What's my barometer of my attitude? And then does my attitude have a lot of altitude? Right? And does the altitude of my attitude, how is it affecting others? Is it persuading them to believe the way I believe? Is it soliciting? Is it creating fear? Or is it a place of wanting to be more real, more authentic, more in myself, maybe not contributing to all of these other social platforms by hitting like and making comments or having it ricochet rabbit in the mental gerbil wheel? Not my circus, not my monkeys, but yet we always want to play with them. Are you taking the time to bless your food, to bring up the vibrations of your water? Are you putting protection around your car so you can stay in your lane and nothing is going to enter that beautiful cloud of love? Are you doing the same thing with your body so that you're aware of attitude, altitude? Are you aware of your individual positioning in the global system? Are you aware of your temperature? Are you aware of what you put out? Is it hot, cold, or in between? Are you creating information that might not be true? Where are you on that bandwidth? The only way you're going to know that is if you step back, get on that patch of grass, connect with your IPS, individual positioning system, before you step out and try to be a contributor to the global, meaning your neighborhood, your demographics, your community. And now that we've got all the social media of everybody chiming in from all over the world, you know how many people from other countries are chiming in about what's going on here? And I live in frickin' DC. And I'm like, that's not happening here. What are you talking about? Why are you starting all of that? But I don't get on here and fight with it because I understand my individual positioning system is not going to contribute by being offensive or defensive of what everybody else says and does. I want to understand my attitude, my temperature, my blades of grass in my energetic square. And I want to give that all my loving attention and step away from what everybody else's patch is doing. It doesn't have to be complicated, my friends. It doesn't have to be complicated. If I can help you on this journey, you know where to find me. Keep it simple. Step back, step in. Learn to operate from within as you're going about your daily stuff that isn't going to change. Jobs, routes to work, kids, life, foods, all of those things. Bless everything that you're ingesting. Thought, sight, smell, taste, hearing, heart, what you're buying into, what you're buying to ingest physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally, all affecting the spiritual. Pay attention to where you are positioned in your individual system. Hone in and skill that, practice that. And when you click out of it, thank you for the awareness. Right here. Good. I know where I am in the universe. I know the steadiness below my feet. I am the commander of this vessel. I'm the commander of my thoughts. I am the commander of my actions. Take responsibility and accountability for thyself and where you are positioned in the universe through your individual positioning system, as you learn to participate with the global, with your God source self. So much love, my friends. There is so much love. Tap into that. Share that. Yeah. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on the next video.